Hello everybody, KyleTheGreat's here with the second half of my top 10 anime list. In the last episode, which will be linked below, I covered 10 through 6 of this top 10 countdown, and today I plan to finish off the final 5. In case you didn't see the first episode, here are all the anime I've watched, so you know what anime I'll be choosing from when I pick my top 5. And now that we're all on the same page, like, subscribe, and let's get back into this list. Hey, Future Kyle here. If you have been around a while and you watch my past anime related content, you know my explanation skills for why I like something is not the greatest. And that does hold true here to some extent. So if I don't explain something well, let's assume there's an intangible thing that makes me like the anime. Anyway, enjoy the video. Number 5 is The Devil is a Part-Timer. Came out in 2013, but to my knowledge, there's a new season coming out soon. Can't wait for it, honestly. I did have read ahead a bit in the manga, because for some reason, this manga is actually at my local library. I don't know why it is, but it is. Okay, so let's read the synopsis of this one, shall we? Striking fear into the hearts of mortals, the Devil Lord Satan begins to conquer the world of Anta-Isla with his vast demon armies. However, while embarking on the brutal quest to take over the continent, his efforts were foiled by the hero Emilia, forcing Satan to make his swift retreat into a dimensional portal, only to land in the human world. Along with his loyal general Asiel, the demon finds himself stranded in modern-day Tokyo and vows to return and complete his subjugation of Anta-Isla, that is, if he can find his way back. Powerless in the world without magic, Satan assumes the guise of a human named Sadao Mao and begins working at McDonald's. Not to be confused with the fast food brand, a local fast food restaurant. It might be the same exact thing, but it isn't. To make ends meet, he soon realizes that his goal to conquer Anta-Isla is just not enough, as he grows determined to climb the corporate ladder and become the ruler of Earth, one satisfied customer at a time. Whether it's part-time job, household chores, or simply trying to pay the rent on time, The Devil's a Part-Timer presents a hilarious view of the most mundane aspects of everyday life, all through the eyes of a hapless demon lord. This show is one of the first actually animes I've watched. I watched this back when I was in 10th grade, and that was 4 years ago now? Yeah, oh, damn, it was a long time. And I honestly really loved it. It's a very good anime for people who just start watching anime, honestly. Because, I mean, it's a very lighthearted series. There's action. There's some action. There's some pretty good action parts. There's a few, fan service parts, but overall, very tame. Especially for an anime. It was such a good story, right? I just love these characters. Overall, I'm very excited for Season 2, and we'll definitely watch it when it releases. It's almost certainly made by a different studio than White Fox. Overall, it's really funny, because, it takes the simplest things, right? Like, this character working at a fast food restaurant. and it makes it funny somehow. I don't know, I have a really soft place in my heart for this anime, just because it was one of the first ones I watched and really got me into anime. Because if you watch Naruto, I mean, that's not really... I mean, it is an anime, but it's more like, mainstream, Yeah, this was a very good show, and I do recommend it for anyone that hasn't watched it, especially because Season 2 is probably coming out soon. I have watched the trailer for it. Anyway, so yeah, that was number 5 on the list. Okay, so we went from the most lighthearted anime I've probably ever watched to the probably most inappropriate one I ever watched. And that's saying a lot, because I watched Elfin Lead, which is full of tits and violence. This is Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. It was naturally flipped with Devil's a Part-Timer for 4-5, but then I realized something. I did also finish reading this manga. It was a fan-dubbed version of it. And this is actually one of the only anime I watched twice. Yeah, I'm not too proud of it, honestly. But I watched it 2 spring breaks or 2 consecutive years, and I don't regret it. Let's read the synopsis. It's a long one, but I wonder what it's actually going to say, because generally they don't spoil much. With the introduction of strict new morality laws, Japan has become a nation cleansed of all of that is obscene and impure by monitoring citizens using special devices worn around their necks. Authorities have taken extreme measures to ensure the society reigns chaste. So overall, you already know that's a good start. In the world of sexual suppression, Tanukichi Okuma, son of an infamous terrorist, take that very lightly, who opposed the chastity laws, has just entered high school, offering his help to the student council in order to get close to President Anna Nishinomiya, his childhood friend and crush. Little does he know that the vice president, Ayame Kojo, which is, if you watch my best female characters, was number 2, I think, has a secret identity, Blue Snow, a masked criminal dedicated to spreading lewd material amongst the sheltered public, and Tanukichi has caught the girl's interest due to his father's notoriety. Soon Tanukichi is dragged into joining her organization called Fox, where he is forced to spread obscene propaganda, helping to launch an assault against the government's oppressive rule. With their school set at the first point of attack, Tanukichi will have to do the unthinkable when he realizes that their primary target is the person he admires most. Okay, where to begin with this one? I don't even know where to begin. So I'll start at the beginning, I guess. So spoilers, I guess there probably will be spoilers. Story spoilers. Yeah, I'm definitely going to spoil some things about this, so skip to this timestamp if you really do not want to be spoiled about this show. I mean, you'll know by the first episode if you'll be able to watch the show, because I think the first episode is the worst. God, I'm not going to forget that scene with the flies. Anyway, yeah, skip to this time frame now. So in this world, anything like inappropriate will get you pretty much in trouble by the Decency Squad, I think it's called. Human Decency Squad, I think it's called. So if you say anything, obviously the things around your neck will pretty much have the police called on you, and then you're getting taken away. Obviously there are workarounds to this, like don't say the words, like say cucumber or something. It's sort of like trying to avoid the YouTube algorithm words. Also, there's one around their wrist for some reason too. I don't think it ever says, maybe because you don't want to draw lewd things, because one of the characters draw lewd things with their mouth. But overall, when you get deeper into the show, after a scene, I think it's episode 3, I don't know for sure, but after a few episodes, after doing naughty things around the school, you realize that she's like a rhino. Get it? Because horns. Yeah, after one event that happens in one of the episodes, she really starts feeling something for the main character, and obviously our main character does not like that side of her, and that gets them into a lot of weird situations. There's also like an antagonist group called like Tattered Fabric or whatever. They're honestly not very important to the story. Well, they are, but overall, if you're watching this, you're clearly really not watching it for the story. Overall, the show is pretty messed up. How did this pass Funimation's guidelines? Why did they dub this? It's one of those shows that it's very surprising it actually got an anime adaptation. There's a lot of those actually out there now, but it's overall a very good show. I wouldn't have watched it twice if I didn't like the characters as much as I did, and let's like the premise of the show. It's a very unique show. Okay, now that you all think I'm a weirdo, let's get into the top 3, I guess. So number 3 came from fall of 2020. So Akudama Drive. So this is one of the crazy minds of the people who made Danganronpa and Damage shows, but let's read the synopsis. The bustling metropolis of Kansai, where cybernetics screens litter the neon landscape, may seem like a technological utopia at first glance, but in the dark alleys around the brightly lit buildings, an unforgiving criminal underbelly still exists in the form of fugitives known as Akudama. No stranger to these individuals, Kansai police begin the countdown to the public execution of the infamous Akudama cutthroat, guilty of killing 999 people. However, a mysterious message is sent to several elite Akudama, enlisting them to free Cutthroat for a substantial amount of money. An invisible hand seeks to gather these dangerous persona in one place, ensuring that the execution is well underway to become a full-blown bloodbath. Yeah, so that's pretty much the first episode. So what can I say? I don't think I really want to spoil this one too much. I can. And if I will, I'll probably put like a warning on the screen if I think I said anything too dangerous during editing. But this show is absolute batshit crazy, honestly. It's so action-packed throughout. I believe when this anime did come out, it was actually nominated for one of the best fight scenes in anime. It didn't win because, obviously, I think My Hero probably won everything this year. It was like the Brawler versus one of the like police squad people. It was a very good fight. I'm not going to tell you what happened in the end of that fight, but it was a very good fight. Overall, I don't think a single Akudama was killed by authorities, other than Swindler. But she did that on purpose. It was honestly this take Danganronpa, put it in a neon setting, and a lot of criminals, and you got this. Overall, the story was pretty easy to follow. You got these people follow the cat, and the idea of the story was to transport 2 people to where they want to go, I guess. I forgot where it was, and it doesn't say it here because it doesn't spoil it. And the cutthroat thing was just like a test to prove that they were good enough to get the second objective done. The person controlling the cat is actually the client. Overall, Swindler though, like, she's just an average person and just got caught up in everything. And Hoodlum was just there too, went way over his head because everyone here has a talent because it's from Danganronpa and stuff. But overall, yeah, it's an absolute stellar anime, and I really enjoy watching it. Honestly, you just want to see how it concludes, so it's very binge-worthy. I'm really not into sci-fi usually, though. Sci-fi settings, but this thing really just pulled it off. Anyway, this is number 3 on the list. I still got 2 more to go. So this might become a surprise to you, but number 2 is Spice and Wolf. You would think by looking at a few of my YouTube videos I have out, this could be number 1, but it isn't. Even though Holo is my favorite female character in all animes. This thing came out back in 2008. I was 6 when this show first came out. Wow, how times have changed. Anyway, let's read the synopsis of this one. Holo is a powerful wolf deity who is celebrated and revered in a small town of Paslo for blessing the annual harvest. Yet as years go by and the villagers become more self-sufficient, Holo, who stylizes herself as the wise wolf of Yoitsu, has been reduced to a mere folktale. When a traveling merchant named Craft Lawrence stops at Paslo, Holo offers to become his business partner if he eventually takes her to the northern home of Yoitsu. The savvy trader recognizes Holo's unusual ability to evaluate a person's character and accepts her proposition. Now in the possession of a sharp business skills and a charismatic negotiator, Lawrence inches closer to his goal of opening his own shop. However, as Lawrence travels the countryside with Holo in search of economic opportunities, he begins to realize that his aspirations are slowly morphing into something unexpected. Based on the popular novel of the same name, fuses the two polar genres of economics and romance to create an enthralling story, abundant with elaborate schemes, sharp humor, and witty dialogue, which Holo is full of. Spice and Wolf is more than just a story of bartering. It turns into a journey of something for a lost identity in an ever-changing world. So, Holo still wants to go back to her hometown, where she grew up and born, and she resides in the wheat. The only reason she can come over to Lawrence is because she has wheat. And that's why she has a wheat bag around her neck, a small little satchel of it. Because as long as she has it, she can stay around. I don't know what would happen if the wheat gets eaten or something. She can't eat it and turn into a wolf after all. Even though blood would be a better option. But overall, I loved this show for many reasons. I don't know, I just think the voice actor Holo did a great job in the English dub. If you don't know, I don't watch subs, I watch dubs. And I rarely talk about voice actors because I know they're not the original voice actors for the role. But sometimes you just gotta applaud an English voice actor because Holo's voice actor did amazing. Not to mention, I do count the second season here too. You get to see the character development of Holo and even Lawrence, especially in their relationship as that develops over the time. And yeah, I guess wherever they go, trouble seems to follow. But overall, if I didn't like these characters so much, I wouldn't be playing a DS game on them, and honestly, I just love the economic aspect. There's really no other anime that does take this route to my knowledge. See, I'm not really a fan of romance. I think this is one of the only romance anime I've actually watched, but it was because of the merchant aspects. I don't think this is ever going to get a third season, because the second season I think came out in 2009. The books are not coming out for Spice and Wolf. Now it's, Wolf and Parchment or something like that. Overall, this is a good watch. Even if you're new to anime, there's very little fan service in this, other than Holo starts naked. But it doesn't show anything, even though it probably could have in 2008. Anyway, that was number 2, and number 1 is, drum roll please. So number 1 was Black Lagoon, another work by Madhouse. Anyway, let's read the synopsis, and I'll get into why I absolutely adore this show. Within Thailand is Ranapur, a depraved, crime-ridden city where not even the authorities or churches are untouched by the claws of corruption. A haven for convicts and degenerates alike, the city is notorious for being a center of illegal activity and operations, often fueled by local crime syndicates. Enter Rokuro Okajima, an average Japanese businessman who has been living a dull and monotonous life when he finally gets his chance for a change of pace with a delivery trip to Southeast Asia. His business trip swiftly goes downhill as Rock, I'm just going to call him that because that's his name in the show usually, is captured by a mercenary group operating in Ranapur called Black Lagoon. The group plans to use him as a bargaining chip in negotiations which ultimately fail. Now abandoned and betrayed by his former employer, Rock decides to join Black Lagoon. In order to survive, he must quickly adapt to the new environment and prepare himself for the bloodshed and tribulation to come. A non-stop, high-octane thriller, Black Lagoon delves into the depths of human morality and virtue. Witness Rock struggling to keep his values and philosophies intact as he slowly transforms from businessman to ruthless mercenary. Note that he doesn't hold a gun very much in this show. I don't know if he does in Robert's Blood Trial, which is, the third season of the show. But in the first 2 seasons, the only time he really still hold a gun is in one of the first episodes where Ravi tosses him a gun and then he swiftly just throws it in the ocean. So there's a lot of reasons I love this show. I like shows that are not very cutesy, right? But this one, it's very rugged, it's very hard-nosed, and overall, most of the characters here have very good development within the show. Obviously Rock, even though he doesn't change much, he only really changes in Roberta's Blood Trial, and even then, before that, he doesn't change much at all. He still doesn't care for violence. But as you get further and further in the show, he's sort of like, he doesn't really put the blinders onto it. He's not like Benny, which is the hacker guy. Because before Rock, the newest recruit was Benny. And before them, it was just Dutch and Revy. But all these characters, the only person that made the top 5 list for favorite characters was Dutch at number 5, because he's the employer of the Lagoon company. He's far more intelligent than Let's On, and he's absolute jacked, great with a gun, can probably beat the crap out of anyone he wants, and honestly is working with the Mafia, multiple different syndicates at the same time. Obviously, you can't really talk about this show much without talking about Revy for a little bit, though. Yeah, she's a cold-blooded killer. Revy kills over 100 people or something like that within the time of the show. Within the show, the F-bomb is dropped 259 times. 259 F-bombs is a lot of F-bombs. Overall, though, yeah, this is a great show, and definitely one I recommend. I really want to go into the arcs of this show because it's not episodic by any means, but it's pretty much a job is received, the job is done, and some stuff happens while on the job. It generally goes through that pattern, and it goes through story arcs like that. And obviously characters develop through the arcs. Mostly, I don't think Benny really develops at all, honestly. So yeah, my favorite anime is Black Lagoon. Anyway, here is where I'm going to end the video. So if you liked the video, why not consider leaving a like? And if you're new, subscribe if you want to subscribe. Just as a recap, here are my top 5 favorite anime. This video might have been longer than expected, even longer than the last one, but I hope I give valid insight of why I like these shows as much as I do. And with the conclusion of this episode today, this will conclude Anime Month for 2022. And I believe a video explaining my top 5 anime would definitely qualify as a good finale. If you disagree with my top 5 list, which is very likely based on how many anime actually exist, why not comment your top 5 below so I know which shows I should watch next. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!